friends. Welcome to Reading with me, Teacher Michelle. And today we have a new book to read. So I hope my friends are excited. I have a little hint in my background about what we're going to be reading about. So let's check it out. Let me just share my screen real quick so we can all see the book. All right, friends. So the book we have today is called The Ugly Vegetables by Grace Lin. So this is the title of our book right here. And this is the author and the illustrator. Since we only have one name, we can assume that she wrote the words and drew the pictures. And so I know this is online, but do my friends know what this part of the book is called? This whole thing is the front cover. That's right, friends. And so what do we see on the front cover? What kind of stuff is there? Yeah, that's right. We see a lot of green color going on the cover. There's some leaves, looks like vines. We see maybe like a mom and a daughter, and these might be the vegetables that they're referring to. Do my friends think the vegetables are ugly? I don't know. I personally don't think so, but let's find out. Let's see what our character thinks. So here we have a little girl and her mom and shoveling the dirt, and ooh, there's worms all over the ground. So let's see what they're doing. It says, in the spring, I helped my mother start our garden. We used tall shovels to turn the grass upside down, and I saw pink worms wriggle around. It was hard work. When we stopped to rest, we saw that the neighbors were starting their gardens too. So when all my friends go like this, that means that they just did hard work, or that you just did hard work. So that's how our character is feeling right now, because they just used big shovels like this to dig up a bunch of dirt. And they're going to make a garden. So here they are, and they're talking to their neighbor. The girl says, "Hello, Irma," my mother called to Miss Krummerine. Miss Krummerine was digging too. She was using a small shovel, one that fit in her hand. "Mommy," I asked, "why are we using such big shovels? Miss Krummerine has a small one." "Because our garden needs more digging," she said. Oh, so the neighbor, Miss Krummerine, has a small shovel, but they have big shovels, probably because they're digging up more dirt, right? It says, I helped my mother plant the seeds, and we dragged the hose to the garden. "Hi, Linda. Hi, Mickey," I called to the Fitzgeralds. They were sprinkling water on their garden with green watering cans. "Mommy," I asked, "why are we using a hose?" Linda and Mickey use watering cans. "Because our garden needs more water," she said. So they have bigger shovels and they're using a lot more water. Do my friends think it's maybe because they're growing vegetables, maybe? It might be. Let's find out. Then my mother drew funny pictures on pieces of paper, and I stuck them into the garden. "Hello, Roseanne," my mother called across the street to Miss Angel Ho. "Mommy," I asked, "why are we sticking these papers in the garden? Miss Angel Ho has seed packages in her garden." "Because our garden is going to grow Chinese vegetables," she told me. "These are the names of the vegetables in Chinese, so I can tell which plants are growing where." So these are the kind of labels that the neighbor has because they're growing flowers. And these are the labels that the mom is making because she needs to be able to see and know which vegetables they are. So this, my friends, is Chinese, and these are Chinese characters. So I personally cannot read them, but this is the language that the mom can read and also probably speak in. She's bilingual, so it sounds like she's speaking English, and she also knows Chinese, which is really cool. One day, I saw our garden growing. Little green stems that looked like grass had popped out from the ground. "Our garden's growing!" I yelled. "Our garden is growing!" I rushed over to the neighbor's garden to see if theirs had grown. Their plants looked like little leaves. "Mommy," I asked, "why do our plants look like grass? The neighbor's plants look different." "Because they are growing flowers," she said. "Why can't we grow flowers?" I asked. "These are better than flowers," she said. So this is what the neighbor's plants look like. Do my friends notice anything else right here? That's right, there's little bugs. So this looks like an ant, and then this is like a ladybug, and they're all around the flowers. And then if we look at her garden, her and her mom's garden, she's right, it does look a lot like grass, huh? And she's here looking at it, and these are the flowers in the background. Soon, all the neighbors' gardens were blooming. Up and down the street, there was rainbows of flowers. Wow. The wind always smelled sweet, and butterflies and bees flew everywhere. Everyone's garden was beautiful, except for ours. Aw, do my friends think she sounds kind of disappointed? I think so too. I think she would much rather have a pretty, flower garden. So she thinks her garden's ugly because there's no flowers. See, look at her face, friend. She doesn't seem very happy, but her mom does, huh? Yeah, probably because her mom knows that they're going to grow vegetables and vegetables are good for you. Our garden was all dark green and ugly. Why didn't we grow flowers? I asked again. These are better than flowers, Mommy said again. I looked, but only saw black, purple, green vines, fuzzy wrinkled leaves, prickly stems, and a few little yellow flowers. I don't think so, I said. You wait and see, Mommy said. So we were right, friends. She really isn't that happy because look at all the stems she said and all the flowers. This stem over here is prickly. These leaves right here are kind of prickly. And there's really no color. So that's probably why she's upset. She wants a lot of color like the flowers, but these are all just dark green vegetables. Before long, our vegetables grew. Some were big and lumpy. Some were thin and green and covered with bumps, and some were just plain icky yellow. They were ugly vegetables. Oh my gosh, friends, look at there's a little rabbit right here. But more importantly, these are the big vegetables that they're growing in their garden. Those look pretty huge, huh, friends? I think so too. But she thinks they're ugly. Aw. Maybe they taste good though. I don't know. Sometimes I would go over to the neighbors and look at their pretty gardens. They would show the poppies and peonies and petunias to me, and I would feel sad that our garden wasn't as nice. So we're right again, friends. She is feeling pretty sad. Look at the other two kids are smiling, but she doesn't look very happy, huh? No, she's sad and kind of disappointed, and she might be even a little jealous because she wanted flowers in her garden, but they don't have any flowers. One day, my mother and I picked the vegetables from the garden. We filled a whole wheelbarrow full of them, and we wheeled them to the kitchen. My mother washed them, took a big knife, and started to chop them. What do my friends think she's going to do with the vegetables? Let's see. Yow, she said when she cut them like this. She's cutting them like this on a cutting board. She had to use all her muscles. The vegetables were hard and tough. This is a xiao hu gua, Mommy said, handing me a bumpy, curled vegetable. She pointed at the other vegetables. This is xian cai. That's a tong hao. So these are all names in Chinese, friends, which is why it's kind of hard for me to read because we see these little characters. That means you have to change the tone of your voice when you say certain words. But with practice, you can learn them and say them a lot better. So these are all 1, 2, 3 different vegetables that she has that she's cutting. Ooh, looks like everyone smells something. What do they smell? I went outside to play. While I was playing catch with Mickey, a magical aroma filled the air. I saw the neighbors standing on their porches with their eyes closed, smelling the sky. They took deep breaths of air, like they were trying to eat the smell. Can you eat a smell, my friends? No, you can't. So that just means that it smells so delicious that they want to try to eat it because it smells so good. The wind carried it up in the street. Even the bees and the butterflies seemed to smell the scent in the breeze. So we have the neighbors are all smelling it. Even this neighbor all the way in the back. This little kitty right here smells it too. And our main character says that she smells it too. And it made her hungry. And it was coming from her house. Do my friends think her mom's making something? I think she might be. When I followed the smell to my house, my mother was putting a big bowl of soup on the table. The soup was yellow and red and green and pink. This is a special soup, Mommy said, and she smiled. She gave me a small bowl full of it and I tasted it. It was so good. The flavors of the soup seemed to dance in my mouth and laugh all the way down to my stomach. I smiled. Do you like it? Mommy asked me. I nodded and held out my bowl for some more. It's made from our vegetables, she told me. Then the doorbell rang and we ran to open the door. So remember, friends, she was kind of disappointed that their garden wasn't colorful. It was all dark green, right? But the soup, it was yellow and red and green and pink, so it was colorful, huh? Yeah, and did she like the soup? Yeah, that's right. She loved it, huh? Because she got seconds. And these are all the vegetables that they got from their garden. All our neighbors were standing at the door holding flowers. We noticed you were cooking, Mr. Fitzgerald laughed as he held out his flowers. We thought maybe you might be interested in a trade. We laughed too, and my mother gave them each their own bowl of her special soup. That is so nice, friends. So they brought over flowers. All the neighbors brought flowers as an offering and a gift, so that way the mom would give them some soup because they all smelled it and it smelled so good. My mother told them what each vegetable was and how she grew it, and she gave them the soup recipe and put some soup into jars for them to take home. I ate 5 bowls of soup. Oh my gosh, friends, that is a lot of soup. Do my friends think she liked it? I think so too. If we eat a lot of something, friends, I think that tends to mean that we like it a lot. It was the best dinner ever. Oh wow, friends. Look at, even the dog had some soup. It's vegetables, so it's probably good for him, right? And let's look at all the neighbors, friends. Did they look like they're having a good time and enjoying the soup? Yeah, huh? They're all talking and laughing and smiling. So I think they're really having fun. The next spring, when my mother was starting her garden, we planted some flowers next to the Chinese vegetables. Miss Crewmarine, the Fitzgeralds, and the Angel House planted some Chinese vegetables next to their flowers. Soon, the whole neighborhood was growing Chinese vegetables in their gardens. Up and down the street, little green plants poked out of the ground. Some looked like leaves, and some looked like grass. And when the flowers started blooming, you could smell soup in the air. So these are all the neighbors' gardens, and my friends can see they've got the big green leafy vegetable leaves along with some flowers inside. Because they love the soup so much, they wanted to learn how to grow their own Chinese vegetables so they could make it as well. And then this, friends, is how you can make the soup right here. And this is the name of all the Chinese vegetables. So as you can see, this is how you would write it with the tone indications. And then this is how you would say it. So this is a C, but it's pronounced as a Z. It's a little different, but that's because it's a different language. And that, my friends, is the end. All right, friends. So I hope my friends enjoyed that story. I know I did, because that soup looked very good, right, friends? I think so too. So like I said in the beginning, friends, this in my background is another picture of a vegetable garden. But do these vegetables look like the vegetables in our story? Not really, huh? These leaves are big and leafy, but they're not dark green. And I don't really see any vegetables. These looks like this is maybe lettuce, and this is another type of lettuce, which are not traditionally Chinese vegetables like we see them in the story. But we do see some flowers too, growing along with vegetables. So it looks kind of like the end of our story. And with that, my friends, I hope you guys had fun with reading with me, Michelle, today. Bye, friends.